Josh Rubin here from East West Healing Performance with my beautiful wife, Jeanne Rubin. Today we're going to be talking about the science of shrugging. We see so many people in the gym shrugging incorrectly, and the problem with this is you're going to create a problem. We're not against doing shrugs. We're against people doing them incorrectly. So we're here to educate you to prevent injury. So don't take this the wrong way like 99% of people that watch our YouTubes. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the upper traps. You have upper traps, middle traps, lower traps. Just in a general sense, your traps go from, some people say the occiput, some people say just the nuchal ligament, down to C7 to T12, and it actually attaches to the lateral third of the clavicle, anteriorly, and you got the acromion, and then you have the spine of the scapula. So you have three different fibers. Now it's interesting, some books or some people like Vladimir Janda and Karolowitz say that the upper traps are actually tonic muscles because they support the shoulder and head against an inferior pull of the humerus. You have other people like Porterfield and DeRosa that say the upper traps are more phasic and the lower traps are more tonic. Well, or I should say our, I guess, approach is this. I think it's different in every single person that we work with on many reasons. I believe that some people, this is tonic and this is phasic, right? Meaning slow twitch and fast twitch. I think on some people that this is fast twitch and this is slow twitch. And I think this because of a couple different reasons. We're born with type 2C fibers, and depending on how we train and how we live, you can actually train this to be more fast twitch or more slow twitch. As well, based on your postural issues, you can turn this into more slow twitch if it is fast twitch, meaning the upper traps can only work if the cervical spine is stable. The cervical spine can only be stable if your longus colli and capitis are working correctly. If you have a postural distortion, respiratory dysfunction, sacral problem, who knows, whatever, what's going to happen is the traps can't work now, and they're going to create a forward head and posteriorly rotated cranium, like that, just like Jeanne's doing. Because the traps don't have a foundation to work from. You always need stability before mobility. Okay, so there's a little science for you because you know that's what we love to do. Now when you're doing shrugs, the interesting thing about the upper traps is everyone thinks it causes elevation, just elevation. And that's actually quite incorrect. It's kind of an elementary way of looking at the muscles. The upper trapezius actually cause an upward rotation of the scapula. So let's get this way a little bit more. When you shrug, she'll shrug, your scapula is upwardly rotated. The glenohumeral joint is pointing upward. That's upward rotation. She comes down, and it comes back down. So that's the movement you want to get at the scapula when you're using the upper trap. Now most people shrug like this. Jeanne's going to grab some dumbbells and turn around and show you. Whether it's a barbell or dumbbell, the hand placement's the same. You can picture a barbell. Most people shrug straight up and straight down. The problem with this is her arms are in front of the body. Now what's happening is she's actually putting a lengthening or stretch on the upper traps. She's over-recruiting her subclavius and pec minor. She's creating a forward head posture because she's creating a posterior rotation of the cranium based on this pull. Because of the internal rotation of this joint, because of the muscle she's using, she's basically decreasing what's called the subacromial space. Bottom line is, the very muscle called the supraspinatus that runs underneath underneath the acromion, you're decreasing that space, so you put yourself at a higher risk for impingement or rotator cuff injury in this position. At the same time, you drape the middle scalenes and the first rib, which is kind of in this area. I'll turn this way. Scalenes and first rib over your brachial plexus, which is a nerve highway, which can cause nerve impingements, and you name it. So you can see shrugging in this position doesn't even work the upper trap. It actually over-recruits the levator scapular, which creates this posture in the long run. Could create brachial plexus problems, nerve problems, biomechanical problems, tears in muscles, and on and on and on. So what do? This is what you do. Put your arms by your side with your dumbbells. You're in a neutral position versus a pronated position. Now you're opening up the subacromial space. The glenohumeral joint is in neutral. You're not going to over-recruit the levator scapula here in the neck that goes from C1 to C4 to the scapula. And you're actually going to work the upper trapezius because as she shrugs, she'll turn around. As she shrugs, now you're getting this rotation. If you're working with people with severe impingements, you can even slightly supinate a little, right? So you can, just a slight supination, which will open that even more, but you're going to get more upper and middle traps doing this shrug this way. That's not the purpose of this YouTube, but it's to show you that this is the more beneficial way to shrug. So you're getting the upper traps, and you're not putting tension on nerves, on muscles, and on the levator scapula. So that's the proper way to shrug. It's that easy. Hopefully you've enjoyed this clip. Hopefully we've kind of maybe explained correctly. So if that's all, thanks for tuning in. We'll check you later.